Hi viewers and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Viewers, today we will talk about Athens. Athens, the modern Greek Athenae, historic city and the capital of Greece. Many of the classical civilizations, intellectual and artistic ideas originated there, and the city is generally considered to be the birthplace of Western civilization. Athens lies 5 miles 8 kilometers from the Bay of Phaleron, an inlet of the Aegean Sea, where Piraeus, the port of the Athens, is situated in a mountain-girt, arid basin divided the north-south by a line of hills. Greater Athens has an area of 165 square miles, 427 square kilometers. Athens, with its tall buildings and contemporary shops, is the first European city when approached from the Middle East. When approached from the West from elsewhere in Europe, that's what strikes the visitor is the influence of the East in the food, music, and glamorous street life, perhaps vestiges of the time when Athens was discovered from European society under the yoke of Ottoman rule. Nevertheless, it is wrong to say that the Athens is a mixture of South and the East and West. It is Greek and more particularly Athenian. The city, after all, nurtured Western civilizations thousands of years ago. Athens remains on the world stage to this day. Notably, in 2004, the world came to the city for the Olympic Games, which spurred a dramatic makeover for Athens, in addition to building of raft of new sports venues and facilities, including a stadium designed by Santiago. Athens undertook massive transportation infrastructure improvements that included dramatic expansion of public transportations and the construction of a new international airport. The climate of the Athens is benign. Frost is the rare. The minimum temperature is 32 degrees Fahrenheit or 0 degrees Celsius, and snow seldom lies while the summers, though hot, maximum temperature is 99 degrees Fahrenheit or 37 degrees Celsius, are dry and fresh northeasterly. Wind often blows by day. The nights are cool. The climate of the city permits outdoor activity the year round and has had an important effect on both the style of architecture and the life and political institutions of the city as well. In 1833, there were almost no Athens at all. During the fight for independence, it had been entirely evacuated in 1827, and 6 years later it held perhaps 4,000 people in the straggle of the little houses on the north slope below the Acropolis. The newly imported king of the Hellenes, Otto, the 18-year-old son of Louis I of the Bavaria, was installed in the city two-story stone house, while his German architects hurried ahead with the plans for a palace and a new Athens far out in the field. The city water supply from the artificial lake at Marathon was insufficient to supply the new building construction, and the Mornos River, 110 miles to the northwest, was dammed and tapped. Installation of modern sewer system was undertaken, together with the controls to check the floods that roar in the Athens when heavy rains pour off the denuded mountains. The population of the Greater Athens increased considerably after the War of Independence in the early 1830s. The rapid growth was largely attributable to the great influx of refugees from Asia Minor in the early 1920s and the migration of rural inhabitants from the provinces during World War II and the Communist rebellion 1946 to 1949. By the 1960s, the Athens had become the bustling cosmopolitan city, and almost all Greeks adhere to the Eastern Greek Orthodox faith. Athens accounts for half of the jobs in industry and handicrafts, and earnings are much higher than the national average. There are cloth and cotton mills, breweries, potteries, flour mills, soap factories, tanneries, chemical works, and carpet factories. Exports include olive oil, tomato products, wine, cement, textile manufacturers. Publishing enterprise are also very important. Athens accounts for more than half of the cars, trucks, and buses in use in the country. Furthermore, the number of the merchant ships registered in Greece, mostly at Piraeus, the country's largest port, increased since the late 1960s as Greek ship owners answered the government's call to bring their foreign registered ships home. Scores of the shipping offices have opened in the Piraeus, while on weekends shipping magnates sail to the nearby islands of Hydra and Septsi in chrome-fitted luxury flying Panamanian or Liberian flags. Thank you all for listening.